Oops, if I turn on my microphone. Hello there. How's everyone doing? It is lovely to see you all coming into the stream. How's my subtitles doing? My subtitles have been very temperamental. We're going to see how well they work. Beforehand, we were getting most of what I was saying wrong. Yeah, they're not great. I think they're satisfactory. We're working on it. Yeah, it's lovely to see everyone here. And welcome to our streams that we are planning to do every week at the moment. I might end up changing that. But the idea here is that we are going to look at different disabilities each week, or an aspect of disability in general. And this is something I love talking about. I'm Joel. I am a full-time wheelchair user, and it is probably one of my special interests to talk about disability in its different forms. I just realised, it's always when you press the live button that you realise how many things you forgot to do. Like, my music isn't coming out properly. That was an easy fix, hopefully. He says. I also realised I forgot to put chat on all of my scenes, so you can't see chat at the moment. Not great. I can't actually... Oh. Okay. I'm gonna do lots of stuff behind the scenes, but I'll make do. So, my plan for today is we're going to look at autism specifically. And I've got a few ideas that I got from friends. I just want to get right into it, to be honest. There are lots of different disabilities that I think people know a little bit about. We see lots of stereotypes in the media about autism in particular. I think if we look at... there's lots of pieces of media that have autism representation. One that springs to mind is The Good Doctor, which, if you haven't seen, is about an autistic man trying to become a surgeon. And the kind of issues that he faces and the prejudices and stuff like that. The issue, I think, with The Good Doctor and quite a lot of shows that have autism representation is they're quite stereotypical autism. And a lot of autistic characters as well, historically at least, are white guys. Which is not great. Particularly considering it was considered that only guys could be autistic. Yes, generally, men mask less. So masking is this kind of pretending to be someone you're not. So trying to fit in with other people, trying to look normal, trying to appear normal. Generally, women are better at masking than men. And so I think that's why there's this kind of... can you tell I don't have any notes? I think that's kind of why there's this assumption that it's only men can get autism. Let me pull up my notes. I have very few notes, but I have some, and I should use them. Shall we go through a list of shapes? So if you don't know, I have a Obsidian vault. Obsidian's a bit like Notion. It's a collection of documents that you can pull together into, like... why is my graph not showing? Hello. There we go. So, there we go. It kind of looks like this. I said nothing about a girlfriend. Captions. Please. we have like these, all of these dots represent nodes. And I need to disable that color. There we go. Yeah, they all represent documents and how they connect together. You can use like tags inside of the documents in order to link stuff together, which I think is quite cool. So let me show you my roadmap, as I'm calling it. This is a list of disabilities that I plan to cover. This should be over here now. Not very updated, but I've got a few different types of disabilities. I would love to know what disabilities you would like me to cover. I will basically give anything a go. Quick disclaimer. I am not a medical professional. I am just someone who happens to research a lot about disability in my free time. I'm not paid to do this. I'm not qualified to be like diagnosing or anything like that. I just do a lot of research and tell you about it. So I want to put that out there before someone tries to sue me for accidentally getting something wrong. Obviously, I don't want to get anything wrong. It might happen. I am a human being. But I want us to look at a few different documents. My research is literally all over the place. The first one is... We'll start, like, a bit, not specific. Whatever the opposite of not specific is. We'll go into, like, really fine detail in a minute. But let's do an overview. There is this site from the National Autistic Society, which I'm going to put on stream now. There we go. So, this gives you a bit of an overview about what autism is. Where's my interact button then? So autism is a lifelong... I can't zoom in, that's annoying. Is a lifelong developmental disability which affects how people communicate and interact with the world. More than 1 in 100 people are on the spectrum, and there are around 700,000 autistic adults and children in the UK. Spectrum, that's an interesting word. I think autism is definitely a spectrum, but the issue with the word spectrum, in my opinion, is that spectrum implies that it's a line. It is not a line at all. We tend to think of it as being like, can I get up a... Can I draw stuff on Obsidian? I thought I could. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Yeah, people look at it and think that it is a line. That's the wrong one. I think it's a line from very mild all the way over to very severe. Severe mainly meaning unable to talk. It might mean very bad at eye contact. It might mean what else? Struggle to follow instructions. What else stereotypically are autistic people bad at? Yeah, just kind of in their own world. This is how people judge autistic people. They see these things and other traits. They see this and go, right, this person is very severe. And then if you are normal, you appear normal, then you are mild. You don't have issues, is what people assume. Which is why I don't really like this, because this is very 2D. Autism is really not this simple, and it's not this 2D. we see something more like autism color wheel. I'm still looking for like the perfect analogy, but I think that this is I don't like that one. This one I like. I think that this one does a good job of showing what it actually is like. So you have these different elements. You have the ability to socialize, and you can be really good at it. You can be all the way up at the top, or you might be a bit lower down. Same thing for stimming. So stimming is self-regulatory behavior. So stereotypically, an example might be rocking backwards and forwards, fidgeting with fingers, and stuff like that. Another one might be eye contact. It might be what was that on my list? Special interest. Is that on my list? It is not. Yeah. So there's lots of traits. It's a lot more complex in this. There's a lot more measurements that you could take in a way. But this is much better in my opinion than just having a 2D line where you're on a little line. And also, your traits of autism can change daily, depending on sort of stress, and things like that. I wonder how many people have heard of a stress jar, which is like this analogy that you have. Imagine this is a jar. It's full of water, and if you keep filling it up, it will overflow, and you have less space for changes in routine, for example, less space for processing sensory inputs and stuff like that. And so that's why it can seem like even a small thing in an autistic person's life, a small change in routine or something, can just be that little bit extra. Their jar was already nearly full, and just that little bit extra caused what we see as a meltdown or a shutdown. So yeah, it can change constantly. I'm gonna keep an eye on chat, but I've got too many tabs open. I don't know where my chat even is anymore. You are a spammer. Thank you very much, I guess. So yeah, this is just a bit of a... We're going to start with an overview. We'll go more into specific traits. Where's my website one? There we go. We're not going to watch this video because it might be copyrighted, and I don't feel like getting any copyright infringements today. Oh, my subtitles aren't on the website page. Give me a second. Oh my goodness, okay. I need to change the colour. We'll go black for now and hope that works. Okay, I will move it around probably later, but for now, that'll do. Hopefully. I say that and I'm like, maybe not. Oh, that is very purple. Okay, this didn't work how I wanted it to. Hello? Hello? You're really not getting what I'm saying. Okay, we'll work with it. It should at least give you a guideline, hopefully. Oh, something that I think Windows should tell people is that, you can actually do Control Windows key L, and you get subtitles of whatever you're listening to, which I think is a really underknown feature. I wish people knew about it. Right. Did someone message me? Okay, it's not urgent, I think. Phew. Okay. Let's go into what it's like being autistic. Autism is a spectrum condition, as we said, and affects people in different ways. Like all people, autistic people have their own strengths and weaknesses. Below is a list of difficulties people with autistic people might share, including 2 key difficulties required for a diagnosis. And then, I'm hoping, it's also got positive stuff. Not particularly. Okay, well, we'll go over that anyway. Autistic people almost always have difficulty with interpreting language, whether that is verbal or non-verbal. So we often think of autistic people struggling with eye contact, people struggling to understand body language or facial expressions. Again, if we think about the stereotypical autistic person who has to learn what different facial expressions mean using flashcards, that's quite common with high support needs autistic people. But I think a lot of people have had to manually learn or kind of teach themselves in order to be able to identify the meaning behind body language. Some autistic people are unable to speak or have limited speech, while other autistic people have very good language skills but struggle to understand sarcasm, for example, or tone of voice. Other things might include taking things very literally. So while you might be able to understand what someone's saying, you might not understand the tone. You might not understand, yeah, like, you might take things at face value. That is very common for autistic people. Sometimes you need a bit of extra time to process information or to answer questions. And sometimes you might repeat what people say. So that's called echolalia. That can be a form of STIM, where you just imitate noises or words that are said around you. And that, yeah, it can be a way of just processing and going, hang on, I didn't understand that. And it's almost always subconscious. Autistic people often have difficulty in reading other people, in recognizing or understanding other people's feelings, or their intentions, and expressing their own emotions. This can make it hard to navigate the social world. Autistic people can appear to be insensitive. They might be, they might look to be alone. We often think of autistic people as being introverted. Not always, but often they are. Again, naturally I think most autistic people are introverted, but they mask in order to appear extroverted. They might not go to other people for comfort. They might choose to stim and regulate themselves. They may appear to behave strangely or socially inappropriately. And they might have difficulties with forming friendships. Another trait might be... I don't like how these are all negative. Wait, we'll go with it for now. And then we'll go deeper in a minute. I think there's a lot of rules that society has that are not written down. There's a lot of social rules and social norms that, like, autistic people aren't inherently born with, they don't really pick up like other people do. And so it can be really difficult for people to understand how to behave sometimes. I think we covered all of this. Stimming, we might do repetitive movements, so I had an autistic friend who would often just open and close a door. That's like really normal in childhood. As a toddler, as a 3-year-old, how many 3-year-olds do you see opening and shutting doors continually? But for some autistic people, that provides a form of comfort, and so you might see it, at the age of 8, or even older. You may want to travel the same way to and from school or work, wear the same clothes. I was thinking about that today as I was getting dressed. I was thinking, I should probably check to make sure that I'm not going to constantly wear the same clothes over and over again. I feel like I will do. But I literally checked the YouTube video of the last stream I did to see what I was wearing. Which, again, you could argue is a form of masking. Well, autistic people often engage in these behaviors to help, to help calm themselves when they are stressed or anxious. But many autistic people do it because they find it enjoyable. Yeah. Changes in routine can also be very distressing for autistic people and make them very anxious. It could be having to adjust to big events like Christmas, which we just had. I know a lot of people who are still recovering from Christmas and all the stress that brings, all the social, all the social, I was going to say socialism, that's not what I mean, socializing, and the change in routine, not having specific staff, not going to school maybe, or work. Actually, in a weird way, sometimes having a holiday can be difficult for some autistic people. I often find when I go travelling, I need a few days afterwards just to recover from travelling. For the record, I'm talking about my experiences a lot. I'm currently self-diagnosed autistic. I did call the GP yesterday to say, hey, I would like to get an autism diagnosis. I am almost certain I'm autistic. And if you don't believe me, we'll go through the stream. I'll tell you about autism and read all the symptoms, and I'll tell you how much of that I experience, and maybe I'll change your mind. Did I finish that? Yeah. So dealing with change can be very difficult for people to process. Sometimes people need to be told about routines and changes to plans ahead of time, just so that they've got time to process that and prepare. Another trait might be being more sensitive to sensory inputs than other people. So whether that's light, I have got the sun shining in my eyes through the blinds there. I'm gonna sit slightly forward so that doesn't bother me. Noise is another example of stuff. So I actually have a sound mixer here. Let me show you this actually. I think that's a good analogy for me to use. Where has my control gone? That didn't work as I intended. Okay, we'll do that. So, preferably without showing you any personal information, I have a sound mixer here. This very complicated machine of lots of buttons and sliders is how I control a lot of my audio. So you can see the green light flashing as I talk. That is my microphone. But if we imagine each of these sliders are different sounds, so maybe we have a clock ticking, we have I don't know, my mind's gone blank. We have traffic noises outside, we have a conversation like someone talking to us, we have background conversations, and for autistic people, all of these... I've moved away from my mic. Come over here, Mike. All of these will be up at the top. And where a neurotypical person, someone who's not autistic, is able to filter other sounds out to just hear what they want. Other people, autistic people, can only do that to a very limited extent, which is why maybe you've noticed in a loud place like a cafe, an autistic person might be struggling a lot more because they're trying to filter all of these out, but it's really difficult to do. You can only kind of get it a little bit down. You've got limited ability to filter out noises, which is why people often struggle with it. So I'm trying to multitask. Multitasking never goes well. Yeah. Which is often why autistic people struggle when there's lots of background noise, because they're trying to filter out. Neurotypical people have this built-in ability to filter out noise, but yeah. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Where are we? They may find certain background sounds like music in a restaurant they're unable to filter out, so it seems just as loud as someone who's talking right next to them. This can cause anxiety or even pain. Many autistic people prefer not to hug due to discomfort. Many autistic people avoid everyday situations because of sensitivity issues. So shopping centres often are very overwhelming for autistic people. Okay, and there are many simple adjustments that can be made to make environments more autism friendly. Highly focused interests or hobbies. Let me just check, because I'm talking longer than I expected. Because I want to use other sources as well. That is actually less helpful than what I'm looking at now. Okay, I won't go to that website then. So I want to look at a big document and kind of work our way through that. It is called the ICD-11, and it is basically a diagnostic manual. You might have heard of the DSM-5. The DSM is used to diagnose mental health issues and other... I don't know, does it just do mental health, or does it do other physical disabilities? I can't remember now. But that's mainly used in America. Here in the UK and a lot of the rest of the world, we use the ICD. We're currently on version 11. Let me take you through all of it. Well, not all of it, because it's a very long document. But I want to break it down as much as I can. Can I draw? Is what I want to know. I think I might have actually turned off that ability because I'm rubbish at drawing. Install. Okay, remind me later. And then hopefully, possibly, if I open up my Obsidian on my phone, iCloud's deleted all my files again. It has to re-download them. Phone, can you stop freaking out, please? Alternatively, freak out. ICD-11. Please work. How do I... Does anyone know how to draw on Obsidian? Because that is what I want to do. And it won't let me. Oh. Might have worked. Ah, okay. Calm down. Oh, no, that didn't work. Okay. Back to plan A. So, we have read all this already. Activities that are atypical. The onset of the disorder occurs during... So this is very medical. This is for doctors, so I'm going to try and put it into plain language. But hopefully you can understand all this. And if not, I'll try and explain it to you. But the disorder generally... You're born with autism. You are born autistic. And so for the most part, or a lot of the time, the signs that someone is autistic are fairly clear, but it can quote unquote get worse as you get older. It can appear more obvious. So symptoms may not become fully manifest until later, when social demands exceed limited capabilities. Not a fan of the wording, but yeah. Deficits are sufficiently severe enough to cause impairment in personal, family, social, educational, occupational, or other important areas of functioning, and are usually a pervasive feature of an individual's functioning observable in all settings. That got very complex very quickly. But basically, to get a diagnosis of autism, it has to impair you in life. Like every disability. Individuals on the spectrum exhibit a full range of intellectual functioning and language abilities. So, some outdated terms that used to be used were high functioning, and low functioning. These are outdated terms. For the most part, outdated dates, outdated terms. For the most part, it meant whether you were able to talk or not. And it was as simple as that. Which is not very helpful. Particularly because people, even now, think that people who can't talk are stupid. They see a direct correlation between ability to talk and intelligence, and that is not true at all. And so, yeah, high functioning came to mean able to talk, and therefore clever, and low functioning came to mean unable to talk, which means stupid. Cool. We can ignore that. So, in order to get a diagnosis, or I'm going to word this differently because I can't diagnose people, and I don't want people to think, oh, but Joel's diagnosing me. No. These are the traits of autism. And these are all, like, examples of weaknesses. I don't like how medical documents focus on weaknesses. I think it's a very pessimistic method, but that's how the medical community works, so I kind of have to just live with it, unfortunately. So I'm just going to quickly check chat. Because I was aware that I haven't checked it in a while. I'm not sure how well my... I assume everyone can hear me and see me okay. It'd be really embarrassing if you can't. Wait, can you still... Yeah, okay. I am still going up. That's fine. I will continue. So, people might not understand... Wait. Limitations in the following. Understanding of, interesting or appropriate responses to verbal or non-verbal social communication of others. Basically, struggling to understand what people are saying. Either in a verbal or non-verbal way. People might struggle with integration of spoken language and with typical complementary non-verbal cues. So, people might struggle with non-verbal cues. So, again, struggling with eye contact, struggling with hand gestures. They might seem very monotone, lacking facial expressions, and lacking body language. Autistic people might struggle with understanding and using language in specific contexts. And people often struggle with initiating and sustaining conversations. Social awareness leading to behaviour that is not appropriately modulated according to social context. Yeah, I'm just reading the room, basically. Gonna make notes of these. Reading the room. Ability to imagine and respond to the feelings, emotional states, and attitudes of others. Yeah, so that's kind of like... we often think that autistic people don't have much empathy. But in reality, it more often, at least, is the case that they just don't show empathy in the same way. Or sometimes autistic people are... they don't have a specific type of empathy. I can't remember what the word is, but so some autistic people can recognize facial expressions, but might not understand why someone is feeling a specific way. They might be able to recognize an emotion, but not see... not understand what caused that emotion. That's something that can happen sometimes. People might struggle with the mutual sharing of interests. I think this is referring to special interests. I'm not sure. But special interests are an intense interest in a often niche subject, something that's not normal for people of their age or demographic to have an interest in. So, a stereotypical example is trains. A lot of autistic people love trains and can tell you all sorts of cool facts, or go train spotting, and all that kind of thing. I often joke that I have the off-brand autism because I like trams. Which are like trains but not. And I'm obsessed with them. I talk about them all the time, much to my friends' irritation. But I am one of those people that will go out and take loads of pictures of trams. I will go to other cities, even other countries, to see trams. But so I will try and share that interest with other people, but people don't really have that interest, which is fair enough. I can't explain why I like trams, I just do. Autistic people might struggle to make and sustain typical peer relationships. Yeah. So, I think I've had issues with this in the past where my relationships can seem very professional. I'm very good at, like, professional relationships as if I was someone's colleague, but I think I'm still learning how to be a social friend. So I think I'm doing better than I was, but yeah, definitely a few years ago I was very, relationships would very quickly become very, almost clinical. I don't want to say clinical, but yeah, very professional. And it was difficult to work out what to do in order to make it a social relationship again. There might be persistent, restricted, repetitive, and inflexible patterns of behavior, interests, or activities, but are clearly atypical or excessive for the age or socio-cultural context. I don't know where the indent is supposed to be. Oh, we'll work with it. So that might include lack of adaptability to new experiences, with associated distress that can be evoked by trivial changes to a familiar environment or response there. Can't talk anymore. Or in response to unanticipated event. It might be inflexible adherence to particular routines. So that might be always going the same route somewhere. It might be requiring a really structured day where everything is planned out. I would show you my Google Calendar, but I would end up doxing myself. But I have a lot of, like, everything is planned in. I've got, I really rely on my calendar. If something's not on my calendar, I will probably forget about it. I have a lot of time, or I give myself excessive amounts of travel time, so that I am often an hour early to something. Excessive adherence to rules. I have no idea if I've done that at all. I might have done, I don't remember doing so. Excessive and persistent ritualized patterns of behavior. So another stereotype of, like, little autistic boys at the age of 5, not really playing with their cars, but just lining the cars up in a specific order. I'm trying to think of, like, examples in the media for that isn't a stereotype. Like, can anyone give any examples that they've done any of these things and it's not stereotypical? Particularly, like, if you're a female. If you're assigned female at birth. What did that, did you do that? What did that look like for you? Cause I can't. Did I do that? I think I might have done. I had very structured play. It wasn't particularly imaginative. I don't think. I don't know now. Repetitive and stereotyped motor movements, such as whole body movements like walking, an atypical gait, so some people walk on tiptoes, unusual hand or finger movements, wiggly fingers, for example. Unusual hand, but that And these behaviours are particularly common during early childhood. Yeah. Persistent preoccupation with one or more special interests. I'm surprised that didn't actually explain what a special interest is. But as I said, it's like a bit of an obsession with a specific topic. It might also be parts of objects or specific types of stimuli, including the media. So, Doctor Who is a special interest that I know a few of my autistic friends have. Or someone else might, like, rewatch a show over and over again because it's comforting. It's predictable, they know what's going to happen next. I have that for an episode of Doctor Who in particular, but I used to rewatch over and over again to a point where I could do the first 10 minutes of all of the actors' lines without, needing to read it. I just memorized it because I had watched it so many times. To clarify something, when we're talking about stimming is often thought of as something exclusively for autistic people. It's not. Everyone stims. So, I mean, if you're bored, maybe, if you're waiting for someone, you might tap your foot or something on the ground. That is a form of stimming. You're bored, and so you are doing something to keep your mind occupied, to a certain extent. With autistic people, they tend to be more exaggerated, in quotation marks. They tend to be more obvious, or they might actually be more important for autistic people to do. For most people, if you stop tapping your foot, nothing bad happens. There's no issues with it. But if you stop an autistic person stimming, you're taking away a really important way for them to regulate their sensory inputs and their emotions. I read that. Oh, or unusually strong attachment to particular objects. Yeah. Lifelong excessive and persistent hypersensitivity or hyposensitivity to sensory stimuli, or an unusual interest in sensory stimulus, which may include actual or anticipated sounds, light, textures, especially clothing and food, odors and tastes, heat, cold, or pain. It's quite common, I think, for autistic people to not realize they're in pain or feel the pain less than an average person, have a much higher pain tolerance. The onset of a disorder occurs during the developmental period. I read that already. Is that repeating itself? Yeah, that is basically the same sentence. Okay, I was confused then. The symptoms result in significant impairment. Yeah, again, we read that. Are able to function adequately in many contexts through exceptional effort, such that their deficits may not be apparent to others. A diagnosis of autism is still appropriate in such cases. Right, I need to take a drink because I've been reading a lot and my mouth is very dry. We've been going for an hour. If you are still here after an hour, that is impressive. I am proud of you. Thank you for joining me as I just yap about something that I'm really interested in. Alright. I'm still trying to figure out how my thing works. Oh, someone followed me, but I didn't get my notification because I didn't sort out my stream my overlays. So I'm going to quickly go to my start and soon screen, just so that I can replay my just so that I can give the person credit who followed. Where's that gone? I've lost a tab. Hello. I was going to, and then apparently not. Oh yeah, hang on. Thank you for the follow, BB Alex. Or BB Alexa, sorry. There we go. Okay. I felt bad for not, like, showing it on stream. I wanted to... I wanted to have your name on there. Right. Going back to autism. Specifies for characterizing features. Characterizing features. Not so interested in that, because that is, quite often autistic people have, a disorder that affects their intellectual ability. Not always, though. And this is very much about how to diagnose people who are non-verbal or who have a learning disability, which is not particularly important to us, because we are not diagnosing anyone. Lots of previously acquired skills, also known as skill regret. Oh, my mouth is tired. Loss of previously acquired skills. So a small proportion of individuals with autism may present with a loss of previously acquired skills. This regression typically occurs during the second year of life, and most often involves language use and social responsiveness. Loss of these skills is rarely observed after 3 years of age. If it occurs after age 3, it is more likely to involve loss of cognitive and adaptive skills, e.g. loss of bowel and bladder control or impaired sleep, regression of social and language abilities, as well as increase in emotional and behavioural disturbances. Interestingly, it doesn't go into more detail than that, or go into like why that happens. So I'm going to theorize. Sometimes someone might lose skills because of, as we said earlier, that stress jar being more full. Have my captions disappeared again? No, it's just I made them black, now no one can see them. That was not a great idea. Okay. I really need to sort out my subtitles later on. Yeah, so the reason why someone might hypothetically lose their social skills might just be because they their stress jar is full, and so they've got less capacity to deal with things that are normal for other people. So for example, if you as you become an adult, you normally take on more responsibility for your own actions. You have to plan, like, plan, take control of your own life. It's not your parents managing everything. You're now responsible for feeding yourself, for cooking for yourself, for doing lots of adult things. Not in a innuendo way, as in things to do when you're an adult. And so that can fill up your stress jar a lot more, which is why as autistic people get older, you tend to lose the ability to do things that you were once able to do. If that makes sense. Okay. I wonder if we should stop looking at research now and take a look at a specific test or boundary of normality. Do I want to do that? I was going to skim this and give you highlights. Where should we? Okay. I'm gonna stop there for now. I might come back to this. Particularly developmental stuff here. Yeah. So I'm gonna come back to this bit here. Hopefully. I would like, though, to do a test. I'm not testing you, I'm gonna test myself. That's the wrong slide. Right, let's open up the RADS R test. This is something that was suggested by a friend of mine that I do on stream. I have done one fairly recently. But I'm gonna do one again. Is it this one? It is. Cool. That is not what I wanted, but thank you very much for trying, I guess. Oop. Okay. Bloop. So, this is from embraceautism.com, and this is the RADS R test. This is for adults with autism, with a normal IQ, which I have. Random translations, don't care about that. Taking a test. So this is a self-report instrument, which means that, yeah, whoever is autistic can test themselves. You don't need a doctor to. But sometimes an autistic person might need help in interpreting a question. So the way this works is it will ask you 80 questions, or give you 80 statements, and give 4 choices for each statement. True now and when I was young, true now only, true only when I was younger than 16, or never true. So, the highest score you can get on this is 240, and the lowest score, or the threshold score, is 65. So, to be autistic, you have to have 65 or... Wait, is it 65 or more than 65? No neurotypical scored above 64 in the research. Okay, so it's 65 plus. Fine. Based on the last 2 times I took this test, I'm going to get over 65. I'm just going to run through the test with you. That's how the scoring works, I'm not interested in that. Subscales. So these are some of the other things. Some of the other traits. Average. I'm going to look at that later. But for now, I'm going to duplicate the tab. so I can come back to this. This is interesting. But as long as I want to come back to it, I'm not gonna have time for everything. But it's alright, I can live in denial. Right, here's the test. Yeah, that is the test. No, I don't want to take anything off yet. Right. Scroll up to the top of the test. There. So, here we go. Read each statement below and choose the answer that best fits your experiences during social interactions. Oh boy. If you would like to do the test, you can just search for the Rads R test. And you can do it along with me. Right. I am a sympathetic person. Starting off nice and easy. I always get sympathy and empathy confused. Sympathy versus empathy. What's the difference? Sympathy is feelings of concern or compassion resulting from an awareness of the suffering or story of another. So feeling concerned, okay. Empathy is understanding from his or her frame of reference rather than one's own. So if you have sympathy, then you feel concerned, you feel compassion for someone else. And if you're empathetic, then you understand why someone's experiencing it. I think like I might have misunderstood. But sympathy is feeling compassion. Yes. I definitely do now. Can't think of doing that when I was young. I think so. I often use words and phrases from movies and television in conversations. No, not particularly. Not now. I don't think I did when I was younger than 16 either. I'm often surprised when others tell me I've been rude. Not really. Sometimes I speak too loudly or too softly, and I'm not aware of it. How would I know? How would I know? I do find that sometimes I am talking very loud and my throat hurts. Because I've just been too loud. I don't know. I think true only now. Because I don't think a lot of people hear me so much. I often don't know how to act in social situations. Yes. I can put myself in other people's shoes. I think true only now. I have a hard time figuring out what some phrases mean, like you're the apple of my eye. Not really. I only like to talk to people who share my special interests. No, that's not true. I'm thinking, because I don't think I would actually know anyone who has had the same special interest as me. I'm gonna say never true. I'm focused on details rather than the overall idea. Oh, this is interesting, because this is referring to what's called bottom-up thinking. Basically, you look at specific details before you look at the overall image of something. So, for example, if I go to my if I get up my camera. Come with me, camera. Oh, you're not going to be able to hear me, hang on. look at the ceiling for a minute. While I unmute that. Does that work? Hello? 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 Can you still hear me? You can. Okay. Audio is not great, but I'm going away from my microphone, which is why I'm doing this. Come with me. I might need to take off my headphones so that I can actually move away. Stay there. This is the benefit of using my phone as a camera. So, and why is it stuck? Ugh. The problems you get when you're a wheelchair user and have wires all over the place. Right, so guess out my wheelchair. I have here, camera's upside down. I have here a model of a tram, and yes, I'm going back to my special interest on trams. It's kind of partially built, but I want to use this as an analogy, where a neurotypical person, someone not autistic, would look at this and see the tram as a whole. It is a completed, well, it's not completed, but imagine it's finished. And it's all completed, and they see a tram as a whole. Whereas an autistic person is more likely to zoom in and look at specific pieces first. So, for example, I'm going to just use this. Pretend that this is all fully built, and these aren't pieces that need to be put on. So we might look at the doors are on the other side. So you have these little doors here, and you can actually use this cog to open up the doors, which is so cool. I like that so much. But autistic people have this really high attention to really small details, and oopsie. And just like see how it's all put into place. I can't get my... Do I not have a torch that I can use here? No, that's not a torch. Anyway, that's my point. Autistic people like look really carefully at individual details, the individual dots of the paint, or like, you know, the individual pieces, and then uses those individual pieces to build a bigger tram, whereas a neurotypical person just sees the tram first and then can zoom in. It's the complete opposite, as it were. So that's the example I wanted to give. I lost the connection. There we go. Right, give me a sec to set back up. Oh, no, that didn't work. Oh shoot, that's a lot of messages. No. You're not allowed to do that. Spammer, go away. And stop. Thank you. Right. That is an awful angle. Let's fix that angle. Go back to that and abracadabra. My subtitles aren't working again. There we go. Took it a while. We got there. Right, so I wanted to use that example because obviously I get to talk about trams. Right, going back to what we were actually talking about. We're doing the Radar test. So yes, I focus on details rather than the overall idea, and I always have. I always note. Sorry, my a bit of code that I run has lost the plot and is now spamming me. Stop it. Enough. Thank you. So, back to work. Oh, this food feels in my mouth. This is more important to me than how it tastes. I don't know. I always notice. Am I taking this too literally? I know that I did it when I was under 16. Because yeah, the taste... Sorry, yeah. The taste is less important than the feel. Or it was. Is it still now? I don't know. I don't know. I miss my best friends and family when we are apart for a long time. This is, like... This is where people start thinking, okay, Joel's a psychopath. No. It's just... Socializing takes a lot of energy sometimes. I mean, this is something I've been thinking about a lot recently, where I'm very conscious that, I have to really think about whether I've spent enough time with someone so that they don't feel like I've forgotten about them. I have to, like, check when I last messaged someone to... Yeah. To maintain that relationship. So does that count? Plug my camera back in. And how long is a long time? Like, for some people, a long time is a week. Is it a year? Are we talking about a year? Because then yes, I would miss a person. I don't know. I'm gonna say yes. Yeah. I'm like... I don't like these kinds of questions because it's like... It's not like a yes or no answer. Yeah, I know there's 4 options in this case. It's not a binary question. But, equally... It's more 3D than that. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I offend others by saying what I am thinking, even if I don't mean to. Yes. I only like to think and talk about a few things that interest me. I mean, doesn't everyone? To an extent. I don't know. I feel like that's normal. Like, yes, you're going to like things that interest you. That's why it interests you. I don't know. I'd rather go out to eat in a restaurant than by myself than with someone I know. Yes, definitely. I cannot imagine what it would be like to be someone else. Never true. I've been told that I'm clumsy or uncoordinated. Not really. Others consider me odd or different. I'm going to say, everyone's always considered me weird, but that's mostly, I think, because of my physical disability. But if I exclude my physical disability, I'm still gonna say true. I understand when friends need to be comforted. Yes. I'm not very good at comforting people, but I know when they need to be. I'm very sensitive to... Actually, no. True only now. I'm very sensitive to the way my clothes feel when I touch them. How they feel is more important to me than how they look. Yes. Oh, yes. I had a favourite pair of trousers for a reason. And I had to throw them away because they were overworn and I was very upset. Am I still sensitive? I guess to an extent. I don't like wearing shirts. I do when I have to. But given a choice, I will always wear clothes like these. And yeah, I don't really care about how I look. Yeah, that's definitely true. I like to copy the way certain people speak and act. It helps me appear more normal. Yes, I copy people's words. I did that this morning. I was like, no, you can't say that. That sounds too much like I'm trying to copy them. Oh, that was a noise. It can be very intimidating for me to talk to more than one person at the same time. Yes. I have to act normal to please other people and make them like me. Yes. Meeting new people is usually easy for me. Yeah, no. I get highly confused when someone interrupts me when I'm talking about something I'm very interested in. I wouldn't say confused. I'm sad. But I think I kind of mute myself because I'm like, yeah, I know that people are interested in this, so I'm not going to say anything. But I don't get confused. It is difficult for me to understand how people are feeling when we are talking. Do I think about how other people are feeling? Per se? Difficult for me to understand how other people are feeling. Well, I don't know what the normal amount is. Like, how much do other people know? I'm gonna leave it at true when I was younger than 16. I like having a conversation with for several people. For instance, around a dinner table. No. No, thank you. I take things too literally, so I often miss what people are trying to say. Yeah. It is very difficult for me to understand when someone is embarrassed or jealous. No. Some ordinary textures that do not bother others feel very offensive when they touch my skin. There is a paper that is used for, like, really high quality photos, which someone sent me a card of. I made worked on it and it was nice. But it felt like, you know when you hear metal screeching on metal? That's how it felt on my fingernails. And yuck. Yes. Also, I really didn't like getting my hands dirty when I was like 5. I'd have... If I had to touch something dirty, I'd use one hand, so I still had a clean hand. I couldn't, like... I didn't like my hands being dirty. I get extremely upset when the way I like to do things is suddenly changed. Not extremely upset. Just a bit annoyed. I have never wanted or needed to have what other people call an intimate relationship. That's not a binary question. Because I would like one. Would it look the same as other people's relationships? No. Also, someone did say to me that they can't imagine me in a romantic relationship. And I was like, but why? Why do they not think I can do a romantic relationship? That is a good friend of mine. So it's not that they were being rude, but I'm just like, what is it that I wouldn't be able to do very well? It is difficult for me to start and stop a conversation. I need to keep going until I am finished. Difficult for me to start, yes. Difficult to stop? Conversations just stop really easily. It's harder to keep a conversation going. Yes. I speak with a normal rhythm. Do I speak with a normal rhythm? How do I know that? Why would I know that? I have no idea. Why would I know? I don't know. I struggle to understand what I say. Is it because of rhythm? I do speak very quickly. I don't know. I'm gonna say true. The same sound, colour or texture can suddenly change from very sensitive to very dull. Yes. Also, the opposite way around, yes. The phrase "I've got you under my skin" makes me uncomfortable. No. The sound of a word or a high-pitched noise can be painful to my ears, yes. I'm an understanding type of person. That's so vague. I think so. I do not connect with... We are only halfway through. Oh, nearly there. We can do this. I do not connect with characters in movies and cannot feel what they feel. Yes. I cannot tell when someone is threatening me, yes. I can see in my mind in exact detail things I am interested in. Yes. I keep things of... I think... I keep lists of things that interest me, even when they have no practical use. For example, sports statistics, train schedules, calendar dates, historical facts and dates. Trams. When I feel overwhelmed by my senses, I have to isolate myself to shut them down. Yes. Wait, what would anyone else do? Would they just continue to sit where there's lots of noise? What would anyone else... If you're overwhelmed by your senses, what would you do? That's like the only thing you can do. If you're... Right. Neurotypicals. When you are overwhelmed by your senses, what do you do? What do you do? Do you just like, oh yeah, I'm fine? Like, what? I don't understand. What? I don't know what you're supposed to do. What else would you do? What? Okay. If that's... What do you do? What's the alternative? I don't understand. Okay, fine, whatever. I like to talk things over with my friends. Yes. I cannot tell if someone is interested or bored with what I'm saying. I can tell. I forget to check, but I can tell. And when I say check, I don't always mean that I will literally ask them. I will, like, look at their face and try and, like, subtly see if they're interested or not. Wait, no, I cannot tell. That's not true. I can tell. But only tell... I could not tell when I was younger than 16, but I can tell now. I think. It can be very hard to read someone's face, hand, and body movements when they are talking. When they are talking. When I am talking, yes. When they are talking, no. The same thing, like clothes or temperatures, can feel very different to me at different times, yes. I feel very comfortable with dating and being in social situations with others. I try to be helpful as helpful as I can when other people tell me about their personal problems, always. I have been told that I have an unusual voice, yes. Sometimes a thought or a subject gets stuck in my mind and I have to talk about it, even if no one is interested. Yes. Did I do it when I was younger than 16? I don't know. I do certain things with my hands over and over again, like flapping, twirling sticks or strings, moving things by my eyes. Oh, this is so good at calling me out. Okay. Where did my... Oh, I lost my stream. I have never been interested in what most of the people I know consider interesting. Yeah. I'm considered a compassionate, thoughtful person. I think so. I guess along with other people by following a specific set of rules that help me look normal. Not so much. But I think most of the reason for it is because all of my friends now, bar one, are neurodiverse. So... yeah. I'm gonna say... I'm gonna say yes. But I follow those rules much less now that I've got more autistic friends. It's very difficult... That's very loud. It's very difficult for me to work and function in groups. Not really. When I am talking to someone, it's hard to change the subject if the other person does, so... yes. I don't like when subjects suddenly change, because it feels like I have to, like, rewire my brain. Which, yes, is exactly as difficult as it sounds. Sometimes I have to cover my ears to block out painful noises. Yes. I have noise cancelling headphones on all of the time. I can chat and make small talk with people. No. Sometimes things that should feel painful are not. Yes. When talking to someone, I have a hard time telling when this is my turn to talk. Not so much. My voice is going now, I can feel it. We're nearly done. I am considered a loner by those who know me best. I usually speak in a normal tone. Normal as in, it's normal for you and it's the same all the time, or normal as in, the appropriate tone. I have no idea. What does that question even mean? I really like to... No. I can't read anymore. I cannot read anymore. I should get my, Can I get a... screen reader to read for me? Ah. Okay, no. That's not helpful. Thank you. That was not as helpful as I wanted it to be. I don't think it's been exactly the same day after day, and even small changes in my routines upset me. Not exactly the same. How to make friends and socialize is a mystery to me. Yes. Other people have just picked me up and gone, you are a friend. And that is the only way I've made friends. It calms me to spin around, yes. And talk in a chair when I'm feeling stressed, yes. He wears his heart on his sleeve doesn't make sense to me, true. If I'm in a place where there are many smells, textures, feel noises or bright lights, I feel anxious or frightened. Not anxious or frightened, overwhelmed, yes. I guess that's what it's asking. I can tell when someone says one thing but means something else. No. I like to be by myself as much as I can. I keep my thoughts stacked in my memory, like they are on finding cards. I pick out more ones I need by looking through the stack and find the right one. Or using another unique method. Nope. The same sound sometimes seems very loud or very soft, even though I know it has not changed. Yes. I enjoy spending time eating and talking with my family. Yeah. I don't know about that. Because I don't enjoy eating. I don't know. We'll say yes. I can't tolerate things I dislike. I don't like to be hugged or held, but it's never true. Well, no. That was true when I was younger, but I love pressure. I like touch. Now, when I go somewhere, I have to follow a familiar route. No. What does this question mean? It is difficult to figure out what other people expect of me. I don't know. I like to have close friends, yes. People tell me I give too much detail, yes. I'm often told that I ask embarrassing questions, yes. I tend to point out other people's mistakes, yes. Right, score. 139 this time. Ah, what did you do? That was not what I wanted. Thanks for trying though. Right. Let us take a screenshot of that. Right, I think that's got... Yeah. There we go. So, if I'm 25, I'm not autistic. If I'm 50, I have some autistic traits, but not like autistic. Although some autistic people do score as low as 44. 65 is a minimum score at which autism is considered. What was I again? 139. 90, stronger indication of autism. Or non-autistics may score as high. 130, a mean score of autistic people. Strong evidence for autism. That is me. 160, very strong evidence. 227, a maximum score autistic people required by Ritvo's seminal paper on it. Maximum score. Okay. So that's the highest realistic score. I mean, you can't get higher than 240. Do know that no single test is conclusive and not every single autistic person necessarily scores above the defined threshold on each test. If you score low on the RADSAR, but think you still could be autistic, try taking a few other autism tests. I'm not doing that today because my voice hurts. Anything else? My CAT-Q measures masking. The AQ is a simple test. And then the ASPE quiz is for neurodivergence and possible co-occurring conditions. But this is like referring to Asperger's, isn't it? Which is not great. I'm not going to do that now. It's 119 questions. No. 80 was too many for me. I'm not going to do that now. Let's go back to our... Where were we? We were on our document before. Yep. I am now getting tired. My energy is dipping a bit. But let us talk about... Where were we before? We were here. I'm going to take a quick break. I forgot to make a BRB screen. Can I make one very quickly? Alerts and overlays. Because I am now tired. And I would like to get some more energy. BRB. I'm gonna try out a new BRB screen. And yeah, use this time to go grab a drink. I will probably be about 5 minutes. 1080. Okay, that works. I'll be back. Hello there. Hello again. Oh, I thought my mouth was going to work again. Apparently not. Right. We are nearly done for the stream, but I thought we'd continue just a little bit more and cover a few more traits. And maybe touch on capabilities, but we'll do that in probably next week. Because we've been going for 2 hours. I think we're about done now. But there were a few things that we said we would look at quickly before we finish up. And I want to keep my word. So, these are the subscales that the RADs are test uses. There are 4 of them, I believe. Language, social relatedness, sensory motor, and circumscribed interest. So language is basically whether you copy scripts, so you copy what other people say, whether you do small talk, which is like conversation about unimportant things. That's one button. That people make during social interactions instead of topics that are actually interesting. I love that it admits that small talk is not interesting or fun. I heard someone say an analogy that small talk is like cats meowing. It's like, are you still alive? Are you still there? I'm thinking of you. Rather than anything worthwhile. And language is also about being literal thinking, taking things at face value. Social relatedness is the second subscale, and this is mentalization, so understanding what others are thinking or feeling. Mutual interests, so preferring to be with people who you share an interest with. Being considered different. Bluntness. Challenges, knowing when it's your turn to talk. Emotional reciprocating. Knowing when someone is flirting with you. That's what emotional reciprocity is. I can't read anymore. Auditory processing issues. Object permanence. Object permanence is typically considered ADHD, which is like, you put something down somewhere, and as soon as you put it down, you forget where it is, basically. Slight exaggeration, but not much. And it feels weird to be like, object permanence is like, you put a human down somewhere and you forgot about them. Is that what that question was asking? That's so weird. I should have read these. Maintaining relationships. So challenges making or keeping friends. Non-verbal communication we talked about. Copying other people's behaviour to fit in, and hiding automatic behaviours to fit in with others. So these are the 2 types of masking. Copying other people's behaviour and hiding your natural behaviour. Then there's essentially a motor, which is being aware of your body, which is interoception. It didn't really ask about interoception. Interoception is basically you knowing, it's like a sixth sense, where you know the status of your body. So most people know when they are hungry, or when they are cold, or something like that. I personally struggle to know when I need the toilet. I sometimes struggle with knowing when I'm hungry, unless my belly is literally hurting from either of those 2 things. That's the only way I know that I'm hungry or I need the toilet. My stomach is literally hurting. I'm like, oh, what's wrong with my belly? Oh wait, that bit of my belly is where my bladder is. I probably need to go to the toilet. Which I suddenly realised during that BRB. But I will sort that in a few minutes. So other things might be voice differences, motor control issues, like issues with fine mobility or using our hands to do small things. And and sensory stimulation is the other thing. Circumcised interest is special interest. Speaking about them, having them, ... Just special interest in general, just everything. What if I like someone autistic like this? Details preference focuses on details before the big picture, but can do both. Yeah. So I can kind of do both, but I do focus on details. It's like, I think I'm in a community called Script Camp on Discord, which is a big community of screenwriters, and I think a lot of the active members are autistic or are neurodivergent, and I've seen a lot of people who struggle with the overall plan of a story, but can do the, like, see specific scenes really clearly. They can't see the story as a whole, but they can see individual scenes really, really clearly. And I think that's the trait of autism. That's bottom-up thinking, when you see the fine detail before the overview. Another circumcised interest is being upset when the unexpected occurs. I did not know that was circumcised interest, but okay. I thought that would have been like... Oh no, I guess it does fit in there. Okay. So these are average scores. What did I get? 130... 139. So I am a bit below the average autistic person. Average autistic male. Interesting. I thought females would score a bit lower because females tend to mask more. But actually they've got higher scores. I was not expecting that. So suspected autistic males tend to have scores closer to mine. So I'm suspected at the moment. I'm in the process of getting a diagnosis. And maybe once I get a diagnosis I'll unmask more. That's possible. These are average. Do we have to look at Asperger's? Asperger's is a disused term because it's, it references the Nazi doctor in... Was that Auschwitz? I think it might be Auschwitz. Who, tortured autistic children. So funny enough, we don't really like using the term Asperger anymore. Anyway. Yeah, you can't even be diagnosed with Asperger's anymore. It's all just classed under autism. Average is 133, so I scored just above average. No neurotypical who took the test scored above the autism threshold. Only 3% of the autistic group did not score over 65. The retest reliability was high, particularly for the autistic group. Which is why all of my scores are fairly similar. If I look at... Where's my phone gone? If I look at all my screenshots of my test, because I've now done 3. That's the wrong app. Rads. One I got 100. Where's that one? Autism. That's 100. That is... Who got 32? I don't know who got 32, but that's low. I think that was me trying to answer as a neurotypical would. So I got 100, 137, and 139. In that order, I believe. Cool. Is any of this interesting? Not so much. And then that's about the actual test. That is the test. Cool. That's all of that done. What was the other thing I wanted to look at? Oh, I wanted to go back to developmental presentations. I don't think I'm going to do that today. I am out of energy. I am tired now. So yeah, I think I'm going to call it there. But yeah, thank you so much for being with us, and breathe, Joel. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us and for being with us and taking part in this stream. This is obviously the first stream of the year. We're planning to do one every week. Most of them will be about disability of some kind. Sometimes I'll look at papers like I did today. Sometimes I will talk to guests about their disability. Sometimes I'll just info dump. Sometimes I will actually plan. Other times I will not. And on days when I don't have much energy, I will probably do, like, stream a game, just to, you know. Because if you talk about disability every week, as I found out in the past, you end up getting burnt out. I don't recommend that. So, yeah. Every so often I'll play a game. I'll play a nice soothing game or something. Make sure you join our Discord community. The Disability Network is a large community. Well, I say large. It's a growing community of disabled people, whether you're autistic, whether you're a wheelchair user, deaf, blind, any kind of disability. We're constantly trying to grow it and make more activity. We've got a couple of game nights coming up, I believe, in the fairly near future. What have we got coming up? We have got we're playing Jackbox next week on, I think that's Monday, but we've not got that date confirmed. We've also got an Among Us session next Saturday, and we're doing lots of different gaming events on our Discord server. We also do body doubling, sometimes we have movie nights and stuff like that. If you would like us to host, if you've got an idea of an event you want us to host, let us know and we would love to do that. I've lost my link to the Discord. Look at these spammers. We love spammers. Discord. There we go. The link is in the chat. There's no space between the link for some reason, but it's there. Oh, it didn't show up on the thing. Anyway, it's there in Twitch chat that we do. Disability Network. There. I am struggling here. Gosh. And... ta-da! There we go. And I feel like there's another one somewhere that I need to do. There are spammers in my... Oh, I just saw that someone was talking with us in... I forgot we were also streaming on Kick. Where we have lots of spammers, which is great. But we had someone saying, yeah, they do that, they wear the same clothes. But they try to change the style every few weeks. I don't even make that effort, you make more effort than me. But yeah, I'm glad that that's something that you can relate to. How on earth do I get rid of these spammers? Ban. Ban. Yuck. Okay. Anyway, I think that is it from me my voice has definitely gone now. So, yeah. Thank you so much. Oh, I just realised we could have gone live on Instagram. I've only just realised we could have done that. I couldn't get it to work earlier, so I didn't do it. Oh man, that's annoying. I would have had even more viewers. Oh well, that's fine. Yeah, I am so done. Ugh. Breathe. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. It's been really fun. We'll be back next week, and I will see you then. Goodbye. Awkward silence while I change the screen. Goodbye.